What is up, everyone? We're so glad that you're joining us for this Wednesday night. If you're joining us online, welcome. Give us a shout out of where you're tuning in from. And if you are in person, then we're so glad that we get to be with you. So yeah, we're excited about tonight. One of the things that we don't know is if TikTok will be around anymore. And so Reels has become a thing on Instagram, and we've decided to give it a little go. And so we want you guys to check out what we worked on. Who knows, maybe it'll take off and maybe we'll never do it again. But we wanted to at least give it a shot. And so with that said, I hope you guys have a lot of fun tonight. So glad we're with you, and enjoy. Hey guys, Alan here with this week's announcements. We have Rise for Guys happening this Monday, the 14th. Time still TBD, still figuring that out. But when we do have it figured out, we'll have it posted in our weekly announcements on our Instagram page at FPC Club. So check out our story highlights there. And then also we have Rise for Girls, not this Monday, but the following Monday, the 21st. Time also TBD. Again, check out our Insta page for more info at FPC Club. But hope you guys are enjoying yourselves tonight so far. And tune in again next week at 7 p.m. for another stream.
Hey, what's good, club? It's Alan here with tonight's game. We are playing a little bit of a Scattergories, okay? If you've never played before, this game is gonna flex your brain muscles a little bit, but you get 3 rounds, a minute each round, and there is a different subject pertaining to each number. There will be a letter on the screen here. Let's say it's A. You are going to have a minute to write down as many words that start with the letter A pertaining to each subject that will also be on the screen here. So let's say you have the subject is movie, city. You could put down Avengers. Annapolis kind of thing. So, and you get a minute to do that. And also, if you and your friend or somebody in your group write down the same word, doesn't count. But if you write down something with 2 words, that would be 2 points. Your leaders can explain to you the rules as well. But it's gonna be a great night, a great thing, great time, great game, okay? And I just need a partner. I'm missing someone here.
Oh yeah!
Whoa, Matt, what's up, dude?
I heard we're playing Scattergories.
That's right, Scattergories.
Okay. Scattergories.
So basically, I think, what are we feeling letter-wise?
Give me a number between 1 and 3.
A letter between 1 and 3?
Or sorry, a number between 1 and 3.
Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay,
yeah.
S.
All
I
right.
realize Q's a bad one.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Time here, first time.
Anyway, we are gonna put a list up here on the screen. Should be popping up just about now. You get a minute to write down as many words that start with the letter S pertaining to each category. On your mark, get set, go!
Letter S. And stop! No mas, no mas.
All right, here we go. Well, we'll go my list. For famous females, I had Sarah Palin.
Oh, I did Serene Williams.
Okay, perfect. Point for me and Matt.
Neither one of us had anything for the second and third
Yeah. Okay. Fourth,
one. I did skating.
I did sailing.
It was work.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a point.
5 things in uniform. I did a Scottish man.
Oh, okay.
He's in the kilt.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we can count that. Yeah.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Okay, point. All right, 6 things that need to be plugged in. I said a saw.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't have anything.
Oh, another point for me.
Alright.
Animals. I did a seahorse.
And that's not an animal though.
Seahorse.
That's a fish.
No, that's an animal. It's in the animal kingdom. It's in Finding Nemo,
Okay.
which is about animals.
Okay. Any biologists out there, we can debate that, but we'll count
What
it.
did you write?
I put Sasquatch.
Interesting that seahorse is not an animal, but Sasquatch is.
Hey, okay.
It's debatable.
We'll both count it. What do you put for
I
language?
put nothing for the rest of the categories.
Okay, well, I put Sanskrit, and then the other ones I did junk food Starbucks. It's not healthy.
Yeah, that's fair. We could do that. I will give you the point.
Okay.
And what was the other one you did?
For 11, things that grow. Salamanders.
They do grow. Not much, but they grow.
All right, so everyone count up your scores. You can pause the video if you need, hash things out between your group. But the score between me and Matt
1, 2, 3.
is...
I have 5.
I have 6.
Interesting.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, we are going to go into the second round here now. Unpause that video, flex those brain muscles, hydrate, whatever you need to do. What are you feeling letter-wise?
Give me a number letter
Yeah.
between 1 and 3.
A letter?
I already have
A letter between 1 and
a
3.
number between 1 and 3.
Okay.
I have the letter.
1.
That is T.
Okay, perfect.
T.
All right, everybody. The letter for this second list is T. The list for each subject should be coming up. Again, you have 1 minute. On your mark, get set, go.
The letter T. Name of a boy.
And stop! Wow, I just yelled, sorry.
I mean, jeez. Boy's name, what'd you put?
I put Terrence.
I did Teddy.
Okay.
Like Theodore, Teddy.
Yeah, that works.
What about for U.S. cities?
I put Tampa.
Ooh, I put Thornton.
Okay.
Like Thornton, Colorado.
Yeah. Count that.
Things that are cold.
I put tools.
They can be cold.
Yeah, if you leave them in the garage on
I
a
wrote
winter night.
The Arctic.
No. Oh yeah, if you wrote anything with the preceding the word, nah.
The Arctic.
I love it though. At least that's not how I play.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What'd you write for school supplies?
No, I didn't have anything.
I wrote tinsel.
That's good.
Like sometimes you gotta do arts and crafts.
That's right. Yeah. We'll
Shout out to
I
kindergarten.
didn't have anything.
5. What was 5? Pro sports teams. I almost wrote Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I didn't.
I put the Tampa Rays.
That's-
MLB baseball.
I'll give it to you. They were my second option.
Mm-hmm.
Animal or insect. I wrote tarantula. Spelled Tiranchula. Tarantula. It's the spider. It does start with a T.
Okay.
I just don't remember how the rest of it's spelled.
We'll have to do spelling bee next week, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how to spell real. What'd you put?
Nothing.
Okay.
Is that an insect? Is a spider an insect?
Yeah. I mean, technically it's arachnid, which is underneath the insect world, I think.
Fine. Again, if you got a pickle to pick with Matt.
Pickle to pick. Number 7, breakfast, foods. I did tea.
I put tortillas.
Yeah, I've had tortillas.
Boom.
Those are both great.
And
I had nothing else. What'd you have?
for 11, I put Theodore Roosevelt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good old Teddy.
All right. So, hash things out with your group. If you haven't, pause that video.
Count up them points.
All right, guys, we're back. For me, I had another solid 6 points here. What do you have, Matt?
Oh. 1, 2, 3. I got another 5, so I think you're 2 ahead of me.
All right, so
I got 10.
12, 10. Alan in the lead, but here we go.
Give me a number between 1 and 4.
Ooh, 4.
It's N.
N.
The word was Alan,
Okay,
so it's N.
perfect. All right. So this round, N, again, another minute. Juice up that brain muscles. All right. We're going in. 1 more minute. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Things in the desert.
And stop.
Dang! You gotta be really on top of your toes.
I suffered on that one.
Okay, so
Oh, boy.
things in the desert. What'd you write?
I put neighbors. If you live in Phoenix, that's a desert. And
Okay. Then I think my answer works.
What'd you
I
put?
wrote nothing. There's
That-
nothing in the
yeah.
desert, because in some deserts, there's really nothing.
Well, I feel like we get philosophical here. But yeah, we'll count
there's
it. Yeah,
sin,
if we did
but-
neighbors and nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
Sure, yeah.
what about things in a mystery novel?
I put knackers.
What is that? Like pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if the detective's probably wearing a nice
Like
pair
Sherlock
of knackers.
Holmes?
Yeah.
I wrote nonsense.
Okay.
Sometimes there's some nonsense characters.
That's
in
great.
it.
Yeah.
What is it? A computer lingo? I wrote nanobite.
Okay. I put a Nintendo.
I mean, technically there's a computer in there, so
Sure, yeah.
I'll give you it.
Okay.
Loud things.
Put a noobs.
They can be loud. I'll give you that. I wrote Nana.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes those grandmas can be.
Right. I know many loud nanas.
5? Did you get anything for 5?
I didn't have anything from 5 to 10.
Oh.
Shame.
Math terms, I just wrote nope. Because I hate math.
I don't know about that one.
A equals B, nope.
Yeah.
It does not. Nope, it does not.
Okay.
And then things in fairy tales, I wrote narwhal. Have you ever seen Have you ever seen Elf?
Yes. That I would count that.
Okay.
For 11 things in New York City, I put nomads.
Things in New York City? Yeah, that's
You
true.
can find literally anything in New York
I
City.
might have just 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5. I don't think I caught up to you.
I got 5.
Yep. I still lost by 2 points. I got 5 too. So 15 to 17, Alan wins. In your groups, you guys chat, go through the list, see what you guys got. With that said.
Yeah. Peace out, everyone.
Adios.
Thank you for playing. And up next is an awesome talk from Ash.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Ash and I get the privilege of sharing tonight a little bit more in this series that Matt kicked off last week called Up, where we are looking at how Jesus can bring the very best out of you and me. And so tonight I'm going to continue on in the story, but before I do that, I just want to do a little recap for those of you who were bedside Baptisting last week, aka you weren't here, you were doing something else, you totally missed out. But I'm glad you're here tonight or you're tuning in online. We're super stoked you're here. But last week, Matt started with this story of this man who was left along the side of the road to basically die. He had been sort of beaten, he had been robbed, and he was just laying there. And he talked about two men that walked past, a Levite and a rabbi, or a priest. And so they walk by this man and just continue to leave him. And then all of a sudden, this Samaritan man, who is often really referred to as this bad dude in those days, stops and starts to help this man. And that's sort of where we're gonna pick up the story tonight of what happens next. But before we do that, I wanna share a story about something that happened to me recently that I feel like maybe you guys can relate to. I was catching lunch with a friend recently, and she's one of those friends that has a lot more words than I do. She often comes and she's typically got a story about something that's burning down in her life, and I often listen and just sort of support her, and it's a great friendship. However, she often talks a lot more than I do. And so, of course, we meet for lunch. She sits down and she has got this story to tell me about this relationship that she's having difficulties in. And so I listen, I sort of eat my lunch, drink my coffee, and paying attention to her, offering some feedback, a lot of, yes, I hear you, totally, that's hard. And then all of a sudden she looks at me and she goes, well, what's new with you? And so I, in sort of a more vulnerable, risky state, start to tell her a little bit about something that's going on in my life that I would just say felt vulnerable. It felt important. It felt like I wanted her to hear me and listen. And it wasn't probably 1 minute into my story where she picks up her phone on the table and starts replying to the text messages that she had just received during that hour-long jaunt of a story that she just told me. As you can imagine, I felt hurt, I felt disrespected, I felt like she didn't see me, I felt like I had been this really great friend to her and she just didn't have the time of day to listen to me. Knowing you all and having spent some time with you, I feel like I hear this story a lot for you guys, where you find yourself being a great friend, you're showing up for your friends, you're caring for them, and then all of a sudden, it's not reciprocated. And that is super challenging and hard to navigate friendship-wise for your whole life. I wish I could say it gets better, but it doesn't. Anyways, tonight we're gonna look at a different aspect of that story. Last week we looked at this aspect of how do we show up? How do we show up here on Wednesday nights? How do we show up for our friends? How do we show up in our own life and really own it? And tonight we're gonna continue on in that story, and similar to that story I just talked about, we're gonna look at how the Samaritan, the man that helped that man dying on the side of the road, opened up and he stepped up. He really stepped up his game in terms of helping that man get back to health. But before I ruin it, let's just read what's next in the story. It says, he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. And then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I'll reimburse you for any of the extra expenses that you may have. And so this man totally steps up to the plate. And here's the deal. You can certainly show up. He could have showed up. He could have walked by and said, hey, man, here's a drink of water. Hey, man, like, here's a Band-Aid. Hey, man, like, here is, I'll help you to your feet, and then you get to your destination. But what we see with this man is it's a full stop. Like, he is walking, sees this man, starts to take care of him, and it's a full stop. He all of a sudden has all of his attention, all of his resources, everything he has is now put into this man. And what you have to understand about the situation was this was risky for him. Just as that man had been robbed and left for dead on the side of the road, the same thing could have been true for him as he stops to help this man. But still, it's a full stop. He stops and begins to help the man. He opens up to help the man. The next thing we see him do is he totally steps up. I don't know about you guys, but often this feels like the most challenging part to me, stepping up fully. I don't know about you, but I have gone to the gym, or when I was in high school, I would often watch like the volleyball players, or I was forced to do this when I was a basketball player, do those things called jump boxes. And I am not great at them. I was asked to be a high jumper in high school, and I felt like I was a back flopper. I don't even know that I made it over the bar once. But when I think about doing jump boxes, I always want to be the person who's like, I can do the one that's like, so many inches, like just call me OBJ, I've got it. And what I've learned is this girl doesn't have ups. Like I can only jump basically the size of like my son Max, like step stool. I'm just not great at it. But all that to say, this man doesn't just do a kiddie step stool. He does like the full OBJ, NFL, NBA style jump box. He goes over the top in taking care of this man. And what I want you to see here is it was risky for him. He starts helping the man no matter what it was going to cost him. No matter the danger that it put him in, he said, I am going to give all of my resources, energy, and time towards this man, pushing him and helping him back to health and wholeness. So what does this mean for you and me? Like, what does this matter? What does this opening up and stepping up have to do with you and I? Well, I'm glad you asked, and if you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you. I want us to think about it from two different lenses. One being that we're kicking off a new school year and new Wednesday nights around here. So what does it look like for us to open up and step up here in our time with Wednesday nights? So let's start with that one first. First of all, Matt last week talked about how we show up, and certainly that's a great first step. You can show up, be present, be tuned into your small group, ask good questions. Like that is a great first step. But here's the deal. Opening up, it's the risky part. It's the part of you that goes, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say the thing that I know I need to say in my small group because I'm afraid people might judge me. I actually don't want to open up to new friendships or different people here because I'm afraid that they're going to reject me. And what we see with this man is that he blows through all of that. He goes, I don't care of the risk or the cost, but I'm going to help this man. And what I want you to know is that opening up doesn't always mean that you get the best reaction or you're welcomed with like flowers and cookies, but instead, my hope for you in this place is that you are welcomed and loved and received no matter what opening up looks like for you. But it doesn't come natural. It's not your first thing that's going to come out of your mouth when somebody asks you how you're doing. Like often when I think about opening up, often people say to me, hey Ash, how are you doing? And I have like a locked in answer. But when I sit with my people and I really open up to them, I have to like often think about what is the one thing that I don't want to talk about that I know that I need to talk about. That's what opening up here on Wednesday nights could be looking like for you. In terms of stepping up here on Wednesday nights, this is the one that I like to think about as commitment, which is kind of a scary word if you actually do it well. It says yes to following through all the way. So it's not just a half jump or just like the thing that you know that you can hit. Stepping up means like you jump for something not knowing that maybe you're going to actually hit it. You go all the way for it. And what that means here on Wednesday nights is that your participation here isn't just about you. It's about the people around you and ensuring that you are a part of helping them heal, grow, develop, and feel welcome. Like that's how you step up here on Wednesday nights. You make your participation and your presence here isn't just about you, it's about those who are around you. That's committing, that's stepping up here on Wednesday nights. It's not just about you. That's really when we know we've hit that level. We're hitting that jump that is challenging to us, is when we go, it's not about us, it's about the people around us and me being here for them. And here's the thing. As a basketball player, I remember when I was a little kid, my dad always used to tell me, hey, like, Ash, you got to follow through. Like, you have to follow through in basketball, you have to follow through in life. And I remember watching the videos of like Michael Jordan, and LeBron James was in high school and I was in high school, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have the best follow through. To the point where I feel like I was shooting when I was in like 7th grade and I was like just walking around like this after like I had made the basket. So there is a thing in basketball where I think you can over follow through. But here's my challenge to you. There is no such thing as over following through here. You over follow through, I think you actually start to bring heaven to earth and life to the people in your small group and the life of club. And I think it's so important. And so if you think that you're over following through, all I want to say is you have more to follow through with. You have more to step up. You really can make a difference here in this community. And the second lens that I want us to look just quickly at is this. What does this mean for you and your relationship with God? And maybe you go, I don't follow him, or I don't even know who he is. This is my first week here. And I go, super glad you're here. I think some of these questions that I'm about to ask are just important questions. Like, you don't have to follow God to really feel like they feel relevant to you. Insert whatever you need to insert to make them relevant, but I think you'll get what I'm getting at. Do you feel like you are opening up in your relationship with God? Like, does your relationship with God feel risky? Does it feel vulnerable? Does it cost you something? Are you honest about it? Does it feel like an adventure and a journey, or does it feel like something else? If it doesn't feel like all of those things, or it doesn't have those elements of risk and adventure and honesty and costliness, then here's what I'll say. That's totally fair. But God's invitation to you in opening up is that it would start to feel alive and honest and genuine. It's like one of your very best friends' relationships. Like, that's the heart that God has for you when you open up with him. Stepping up, what does that look like in our relationship with God? My question to you is, do you feel like you are stepping up in your relationship with God? Do you actually see yourself working alongside God to bring more of heaven and more good and more healing to yourself and to those around you? In your relationship with God, are you stepping up and seeing the ways that you are working with God to bring more heaven, more good, more healing, more restoration to those around you and yourself? That's what stepping up in our relationship with God looks like. My other question about stepping up is, do you see yourself stepping into what God is asking you to do or asking you to go? Like, are you leaning into that? See, I have to believe that the Samaritan man, the man who stopped and helped, didn't walk along the road that night going, you know what, I'm looking for somebody along the road that's dying. I think he took the circumstance and the situation that was presented to him and he leaned into it. He goes, this is my problem. This is my circumstance to intervene, my resources. I will step up to the plate. And here's the deal. In your relationship with God, do you allow him to interrupt you? Do you allow him to throw a sideline into your day so that you can go start helping someone or stop doing something or encouraging someone? Like, do you let him interrupt you? Or are you just sort of walking along, minding your own business, hoping that there's not something burning down on the side of the road? If I can just be honest for a second, I like to think that I would be the Samaritan man who would stop along the side of the road and I would show up, open up, and step up. But I can honestly think of situations in my life recently where I just cross the street. It's kind of easy in COVID land because, like, if you're on a walk and you don't have a mask, you like cross the street. But I can also see places in my life where I go, I don't want to help that person. I don't want to get into that situation. That doesn't feel like it's mine. And I know in my soul that God is going, yes, go, be interrupted. Stop, have a full stop, not a half stop, but a full stop to actually see the people that God is putting in front of me. And I'll be honest, I'm not great at it. But those questions of stepping up and showing up and opening up are all God's invitation for us, not only in how we interact with other people, but also how we interact in our life with God. So here's the deal. I believe that if we lean in to this showing up, opening up, and stepping up, that we actually will be setting ourselves up to see Jesus doing the very best work in us and using us the best that he can. You turn into the best you when you lean into those things. I think you turn into the best you in your life and in your friendships and in your relationships, but I also think you turn into the best you here on Wednesday nights. You become not just a participant, but a game changer. You have influence and a role here. And so my hope for you is that you find it, you open up to it, and you step into it. We're so glad you're here.